Hey guys, Terrorpup here, and we are going to be unboxing the Youyeetoo X1 SBC. This is a new board, another development board from Youyeetoo. And what's exciting about this one is the fact that, as you can see, it's an x86 board. Intel Celeron 11th Gen Jasper Lake N5105. We got integrated GPU, VPU, and NPU. It comes with Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. RJ45 can support both Windows and Linux. We have 4 USB 2 devices, 2 USB. We can do SATA 3.0, NVMe, HDMI 2.0, micro HDMI, mini FPS, and it's pretty small. If I had to say, I think it's smaller than an Intel NUC. So, okay. And this is an 8 gig, 128 meg unit. So let's go ahead and open her up. Okay. And we are in the new facility. So inside the box, okay, and I'm going to keep this for storage. Wow, nice embossed logo right there. So, okay, so here's the power supply. Okay, it is a 12 volt 3 amp and can go up to 36 watts. Here's the board itself. All right, nice static bag, Ziploc. All right. Excuse me for a second. And there is the board. Okay. All right. So we got a nice heat sink on top that's on the Celeron CPU. The nice fan with the Youyeetoo logo. Our barrel jack, LEDs, HDMI, audio, power. And because this is a dev board, we have a row of different controllers, and we'll go over this in the wiki. Then we have our 2 USB 3 and our 2 USB 2 and our RJ45. There's an SD slot, okay, and there's a micro HDMI, okay. But wait a minute, pup. You said that there were 4 USB 2 HDMIs, and that is correct. They are here, okay. Actually, sorry, I think they're down here, but anyway, they're all along this row. Okay, so one of the things I'm going to do, there's no cases out, so I already dug these out. I'm going to take some brass fittings, and we're going to get some legs on this so that it's not touching, because I don't want anything to short. On the bottom, this is our AE key for the wireless and Bluetooth, and this is going to be for our SATA. And I have from Micro Center an Inland 500. It's a Gen 3. I know people say you should get a newer one, but these, I picked these up for like $50. I think they even went down as low as 26. But these have been real good and rock steady, so I do recommend these. So let's go ahead and get our legs on. Now, one of the things I'm going to try to do with this board, whoops, that's been a little bit different than my other boards, and I'll show you here in a second. When you don't have cases, brass standoffs are great. And these are 2.5, and I believe I don't know the exact height, but I do know that they're 2.5 because my kit came with 2, 2.5, and 3, and the 2.5 seem to be ideal for most of these boards. Now, again, I'm excited about this because it's an it's an x86, 64 gigs. So that means we're not limited to what we can run on it. We're not going to have to worry if there is a version of Armian that can run on this, or Debian, some ARM-based OS, okay? This right here is going to be able to run a lot of stuff. In fact, another Micro Center item is, and they don't make these anymore, but this is a 16 gig USB 3 flash drive with openSUSE Tumbleweed, and we're going to install that on there. All right, so let's go ahead and get our NVMe on here, and thought maybe I needed to use one of my slots. Okay. That there, and we'll use the magnetic from the screwdriver. Makes life so much easier. Okay, now this is the wireless. Okay, and more than likely it is, yes, it's a Realtek. Realtek works with a lot of these dev boards. You know, Intel is kind of taking the place of Broadcom, with the fact that they are very proprietary and a pain in the butt to get up and running in Linux. So I don't need this screw. We're going to go ahead and use this screw over here. And knowing Youyeetoo, they've got an awesome case coming out here probably soon, so that will be really cool. Okay. Now, I believe, and we can look on the documentation, but this comes with NFC. I know, guys, sometimes I get my analogies mixed up. I'm dyslexic, but if I remember right, I was reading that it comes with NFC, and that's the reader, which would be great if we were setting this up for reading devices that have NFC on them, okay? And these are going to be the antennas that we're going to hook up. I'm just going to not do that right now because I got to get my magnifying lens out. These connectors are difficult, okay? But the one thing I am going to do real quick So I'm going to put some thermopaste onto our NVMe storage. Okay. And I'm going to put this heat sink to help dissipate power. Or not power, heat. Again, my mind's thinking one thing, my mouth says something else. All right, so we got that. Okay. Now the one other thing that we're going to try to get hooked up, and it's over here on my workbench that you see behind me. Like I said, I love my new filming area. Okay. Is we're going to try to get this hooked up to it. Okay. So this is a 7-inch LCD that says that it can work with this. All right, let's go ahead and stop the recording right there for a couple minutes. I want to get some stuff prepared. Okay. Got a keyboard, mouse. Wait for power last. Operating system. RJ45. Okay. HDMI. Okay. I guess the overhead would be best to look at. All right, and now power. Okay. All right, we got everything hooked up. I'm keeping the overhead camera on so you guys can see lights. Fan, as you can see, just kicked on. Here in a second, we should see the logo pop up. There we go. Because there's no OS, it's detecting my flash drive. So, okay. I want to pick this up real quick and so you guys can see it. The power light's there and it's fading in and out. So that's okay. Let's go ahead and install an OS. So, been a member of openSUSE since 2008, and openSUSE is out on ARM devices. I really need to learn how to install it on some. I have it on a Raspberry Pi 3A, okay? And I really need to get back with the other boards that I'm using. So let's go ahead for right now. Let's turn off the overhead so that we're seeing all of openSUSE. And what it's doing, I'll hit escape, is it's going through and it's loading up all the drivers. You can see that it detected our USB. It sees our Realtek wireless. It sees our Ethernet. That's good. And now it's loading the rest of the systems up. I really love openSUSE. Part of the reason I got into it was the fact that they used to have, like, if you needed it, they had it. And I bet with the software.opensuse.org, you could find more stuff up there, but the image itself is now, it's more focused to be for like Rancher and small servers, and some packages are missing. Like I like free IP A because it's great for setting up servers to use triple SD and Kerberos to manage your servers. So let's go ahead and hit yes. Next. We'll go ahead, since that's part of the reason I got the R2 set up the way I have it. I'm working on getting it to be a small NAS. Okay, it's saying it can't reach out. That's fine. All right, so I'm actually going to load up Plasma. Okay, normally I do XFS, but I want to show you guys some of the appeal of this. So we're going to hit next. And now I'm going to go through and do expert, because I got to remove the existing partitions off of this. Because remember, the 500 that I put on here, I was going to be using it for my RISC board, but if you saw my one video, you know that I'm not too happy about RISC right now. All right, so this is the onboard eMMC storage, okay? And interesting. It looks like Windows is already on there, so that's cool. So let's go ahead and let's delete this. Delete this. Delete this. Delete this. And we're going to come over to here now. And we're going to add a partition. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a 512 megabyte partition. This is going to be our boot EFFI. I know I could do it 256 or 128, but I actually like to have a little bit of space. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add and I'm old school, so forgive the many partitions. We're going to go ahead and set up a 3 gig boot partition. I'm going to put operating system. And I'm going to go over here and I'm going to type boot. And ButterFS is the default file system for openSUSE, but I prefer ext4 and I prefer XFS. Butter's great if you got large systems and you want to spread it out and add and keep growing it. So for now, we'll make this ext4. Okay, the next partition is this is an 8 gigs of memory, so I'm going to add a 16 gig partition for swap. And then I'm going to add 2 more partitions, and then essentially we are done. The next, let me go back. Yeah, we want to add another partition. Now I'm going to add a 125 gigs for my OS. Actually, yeah, that's fine. So we'll add 125 gigs. Okay. And then I'm going to add right now a 50 gig home partition. And I'm going to leave the rest of the space in case I want to install another OS on this drive. Because like I said, I'm going to be doing several videos with this board, because like I said, there are no limitations to what I can do, but we are going to get this up and running. So let's go ahead and hit next, and we're going to accept. Okay. Hit next. And I don't think we're still out. I see network connectivity. If it doesn't sync up, that's fine. When we get it up and running, I can see about getting it set up. Whoops. Yes, hold on. I want to check one thing real quick. So 1 second. Okay. I see what's going on. Not happy about it, but I see what's going on. My Banana Pi R2 has booted from the eMMC that I flashed, so I got to reset that back up. So no biggie. Okay. So let's finish this, and then we'll shut it down. I'll get the R2 working like I had it before, and then we will continue. So okay. And I know my password's kind of short, and we're going to let this be the admin as well. All right. So we're doing a base install with only what's on the flash drive itself, but it's still going to look really beautiful. Okay, so let's go ahead and hit install, and I'm going to mute my mic because this will take a couple minutes, and I'm going to use the magic of editing and make it go pretty fast. So with that, we'll hit install. All right, we're fixing to reboot, and we're going to see KDE, and it should look pretty good. All right, we're going to tell it to boot from hard drive. I forgot to remove the USB, so I'm going to go ahead and tell it to boot. Now, I could use openSUSE Leap, which is Enterprise Edition, but we're going to use the Tumbleweed because I wanted this to show you guys how it looks. And there we go, guys. KDE. Let's change the background real quick. I like the nice wallpaper that they have, but this I want to show you guys some colors. So there we go. He'll either come back and say that it's working, or all right. There's our picture from National Geographic, and so my capture card's not the greatest in the world, but as you can see, we're doing 1280 by 720 and 60 hertz, and it's just beautiful. Okay, KDE's been one of those great, and as you can see, I got the network fixed, but let's just go in real quick. Okay, and I'm looking for Gpart. I probably got to install it. All right, let's do a quick reboot. And I'm just curious if because we saw that MVNE looked like it had Windows, and I want to see if it does. So we're going to do a restart. When it comes back up to the menu, let's see if it's showing Windows there. Yes, it is. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and boot into Windows. To save some time, I went ahead and rebooted, as you guys saw, and got into the device, and I did some setup. So this is going to be me real quick, just showing you guys that it is set up. And then, like I said, I'm going to do a part 2 where we're going to compare this. I am going to compare this to the hacker board, okay? And probably the Lapanda. That's how you say it. But anyway, so let's go ahead and get into the system. I was very surprised that Windows was on this, and it's working real nice. So it's still doing the dual boot that you guys saw. So this to kind of show you. This is the 8 gig model. Okay. We're right now clocking our CPUs around we'll say about 2.6 gigahertz. It's up and down. Well, actually it says 2 gigahertz up there. 8 gigs of memory. And we're doing 4 gigs of shared memory. And this is the Intel UHD graphics. And the Ethernet controller is a gig Ethernet. and it's been working really nice. So when I do the comparison in the next video, we'll do some benchmarking and testing, but I'm very impressed. Normally when people are saying, hey, I need to get a Intel board for doing X in their home lab, and sorry, I know this is the X1, but we'll say Y in my home lab. I normally tend to push them towards Gigabytes brick or B-Link's little nooks. But this one, with all the IOs on the side, this is going to be a great little developer board. The other thing to keep in mind, and when we can do the comparison, you'll see what I'm talking about. This one, price-wise, is very nice. So until next time, guys, this is Terrorpup, and I'm wishing you guys peace.